Hi everyone, David here. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming back for another video, or welcome if it's your first one. Thanks for joining us. How are you? I'm doing okay. I've just done a lot of walking this weekend. This was supposed to be the nice rest weekend after the expo's finished, and I've been really busy last week. I was really tired. I thought, oh, take it easy. No, it hasn't happened at all. I did a kind of fairly pointless stamp rally thing for the expo last weekend. And today I went to Kyoto, which is the topic of today's video. I went to see the brand new TeamLab BioVortex, which has just opened in Kyoto. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to show you around there, see what kind of exhibitions you can see inside. For those of you who don't know, TeamLab is a very famous art collective born in Japan, I think about 20 years ago. And their specialty these days is making kind of large-scale immersive artwork places to visit. It's hard to describe them really. It's not like an art gallery. You're actually inside the art. It's interactive sometimes. They're doing all sorts of strange things with lights and mirrors and whatnot. It's kind of one of those experiences that is a little bit unique. There are several locations in Japan which I've shown you on this channel before. I think I've shown you the one in Fukuoka, the one in Osaka, the one in Nagai Park, the botanical garden, and also I think one of the ones in Tokyo as well I've shown you as well last year. So please check those out. In fact, I did actually make a whole video about TeamLabs in general, like a sort of a digest version. So please check that out if you can't make it to Kyoto. There are a few more extra ones as well. I think there's one in Okinawa as well now, and testing me now. There's one in Higashi Osaka as well, which is, I've got a flyer for this one. Some kind of, I think it's some kind of cafe with a little garden, so it's a little bit smaller scale than the other ones, but kind of interesting concept. I'm gonna head there at some point. But today, yes, we're heading to the BioVortex, which has just opened, as you can see, on the 7th of October. And yeah, what's this about? This kind of cloud machine in the middle. I'll show you that and all the other artworks that we're going to see inside. But BioVortex has just opened near Kyoto Station, so it's only about a 5 or 10 minute walk from Kyoto Station. I'll tell you about how to get there a little bit later, but and tickets and all that sort of stuff and advice. So yeah, I'll just get straight into it. I'm going to hand over to myself and show you my usual montage. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel. I've got lots of more stuff like this. Leave a comment or a question, and share this channel to anyone who's looking for some ideas what to do in Kyoto, especially if it's a rainy day as well. This is a good option because it's all indoors. So yeah, there we go. Please enjoy this, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, here we are at TeamLab BioVortex Kyoto, the new TeamLab facility. And we're in Kyoto, so we want a nice elegant entrance. We have a nice bonsai tree here and some calligraphy. You can download the app as well. That can help you find out about the artworks. I recommend doing that beforehand because the app can be a little bit heavy sometimes. It works with Bluetooth as well. And then we're into the dark alleyways that are famous in TeamLabs, and a nice floral entrance hall. This is kind of like the main entrance area. So there's a lot of artwork areas branch off from here. And the beautiful floral displays make way for waterfalls. It does kind of gradually change into different kinds of displays. Lovely waterfalls there. So there's lots of different routes sprouting from this main room. So let's go and take a look around. This is all on the first floor, I think, as well. So first of all, you can see the kind of lantern room, which I heard is called the A Year in the Mountains, the Forest of Resonating Lamps. So you can see all different kinds of lamp. You're only allowed to stay in here for about 3 minutes, so take your selfies quickly. Enjoy the moment, exactly 1 moment, and then you're out again. There's this nice projection mapping room as well with the kanji flying down from the ceiling. And it's interactive too, so if you touch the kanji, something will happen. I'm going to touch the tree kanji, and a tree will sprout magically from my hands. You can see all sorts of things. There's birds and butterflies, there's rainbows, thunder. So please check out, try all these different kanji by touching them.
So we do like the interactivity in these displays. Nice traditional art here as I was waiting for one of the main displays, which is this giant, well, the BioVortex itself. So first you're in this kind of dark room with lots of silver balloons, which eventually get kind of sucked up by the air vents and turn into a BioVortex. If you didn't know what that was, here we are. It's a little tornado of balloons. You can actually get quite up close to it as well. You can't get underneath it, but you can really get up close and personal with this little tornado. And yeah, eventually they switch off the vents and you can just kind of mess around with the balloons. But you do have to end up going onto the side of the room, and the entire length of the room becomes another BioVortex. We're going laterally, so you get this huge vortex. And eventually the winds pick up again and another tornado will start up. Yeah, very interesting room. A little bit dark and difficult to film because the balls kept hitting the camera, but there we go, lots of vortices to enjoy. Now this feels a little bit old hat now because this is the infinite crystal world. I saw this in my very first TeamLab, so you can just enjoy taking selfies in there, although you always end up seeing someone peeking behind the beaded curtains, but very cool anyway. There's another projection room here. This actually kind of made me feel a bit sick because you're standing still, but the whole room feels like it's turning around. I think this is something about crows being chased. I forgot what the name of this one was called. And some other miscellaneous artwork using kind of ink to mimic water. And blooming flowers as well. It's a nice little rest area here. I think that took the... the one more room. There's a kind of planetarium looking place. So you lay down on the floor. You can enjoy the movement of all the birds. And yeah, I think that's most of the first floor taken care of. We're going to go upstairs next to this rather soupy looking murky slime. You can just enjoy this one, just taking a look at it. But you can also interact with it too. If you line up for a little bit, you can trudge your way through the metallic mud using the special rental wellies. So you're not going to get wet feet. Although my socks did feel a bit kind of squeaky and shiny the rest of the day. I don't know what was going on there. So finally I got my chance to step into the murk. It's a little bit slippy as well. I thought I was going to slip over in the mud, but you can enjoy wiggling your feet around and making strange patterns in the mud. There we go, toxic waste. It was kind of fun for a few minutes. The guy next to me couldn't get his shoes off either afterwards. Then the main event is another BioVortex of sorts. This is the kind of foam bubble room. I feel like a Willy Wonka's factory thing. So you can find little natural caves in this soap bubble foam, and little clouds floating around as well. There's the little bubble machine in the back, kind of spewing bubbles out for us to play with. Otherwise, just enjoy. You get to wear a mask as well. Be careful if you're wearing nice clothes, because this does get all over you. They do get you with a little blow dryer at the end, so you can get most of it off. Although my hands felt all soapy and horrible. But it was quite fun. And up to the next floor, we've got the crystalline pillars, which again go through various transformations. You can see different seasons of those flowers. And there's a kind of a moss garden going on in this room as well. A few little offshoot rooms as well, including this reflective globe thing as well, which was interesting. And if you've been to the Tokyo ones, you might recognise these eggs. They like to have these around the TeamLabs. This is a bit of a staple. You can push them as well. They can rock. Don't punch them though, just push them. Some little kid was going around rocking them all. So there we go. Got some nice weebles wobbling, but not falling down. Back in that main room, we've got some crystals now. We've got some small organic crystals, and you can take some videos there, take some selfies in the little crystal garden. I love crystals. And this is the dark sun, I think the massless sun, which occasionally lights up. Anyway, yeah, very restful. And this room, I don't know what it was called, but there were these wires being illuminated from all different sides. It was really quite hypnotic, really. It was very interesting to visit. Doesn't really show up very well on the camera though, sadly. There's this weird sound room. They're doing the bass sounds from the floor, so you can see the little water puddles vibrating, like if you see water on a speaker, for example. That was kind of cool. And then finally upstairs you get to the athletic forest, including these rather interesting flame-like structures. And yeah, it's a bit more physical here. You can climb across these bouncy balls, like yoga balls. Try to match all the colours, but yeah, don't roll your ankle. There's trampolines. You can enjoy distorting the space-time continuum with a trampoline. And this kind of, I don't know, little walkway challenge. The big blocks at the back look easy, but they're actually a bit wobbly. And also this projection mapping nature zone. I'm going to talk to you about that in a moment. You can actually design your own characters and colour them in. And sadly you can squish them as well. So I made my Salamander Jack, I called him. I didn't have any other ideas. And I brought him to life. And if he eats a snake, he's going to multiply. So go for it, eat the snake. You can do it. There he goes, he's multiplied. Unfortunately, they're a little bit slow moving, the salamanders, so they did tend to get squished by people. Oh dear, he's dead. So here's the last of the tribe, been wiped out sadly by the tourists. And some fun little bouncy balls with projections on them too. So the top level was very kind of physical. You can enjoy yourself. This was really hard. I had really painful legs the day after this, climbing up these little wobbly cable things. And finally, a little interactive area. You can write on the walls with special pens. You can enjoy these weird little lemming creatures getting pushed around by all sorts of animals. You can cook some fish and just interact. It was kind of fun. But anyway, that was fun. Enjoyed TeamLabs. These people are getting cooked now, so it's time to head back to my studio.
Okay, so what did you think of the TeamLab BioVortex? I had a lot of fun. This was a lot bigger than I expected, actually. For the price, it was. I think there was more content inside than the one in Tokyo, which is a bit more expensive. But yeah, I was very satisfied with my experience. There are a couple of things that I've seen already in TeamLabs, like the bouncy ball things you have to jump on, and the egg. They like the kind of fairy light egg sculptures. But yeah, also interesting kind of structures and sculptures inside. And of course, the BioVortex was the star of the show, the big kind of ball pond hurricane. That was really interesting. A little bit hard to film though, because I kept getting hit with all these little shiny balls. Also the foam pits. I never went to Ibiza in the 90s like some people did with their foam parties. I feel like I've had that experience now a little bit. I wish they would have given you a little bit more warning about this. So here, this is your warning. Just don't wear your best clothes, and also maybe leave that bag in the locker. I thought we just had to leave the bags in the locker if they're too big or they're too heavy. I thought I was okay, but then I had to walk through all this foam, so I don't know. They do kind of use blow dryers to get you clean when you go out, but yeah, I had this kind of horrible, like soapy, sticky feeling rest of the day, so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that was interesting as well. All the other displays were cool as well, like the projection mapping things, the interactive stuff was good as well. And the whole addition of the athletic forest on the top was really fun as well. I was really running out of energy by the end. You can draw, you can be creative, you can exercise yourself like climbing and balancing on things. Yeah, it was fun for adults and kids. Of course, kids are going to love this too. They might get a little bit bored in the more artistic moments, but yeah, there are plenty of kids kind of terrorizing everybody else. So there we go, that was TeamLabs. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, how do you get there? Well, it's pretty easy. You just take the JR line to Kyoto Station. If you're not coming by JR, you can also get there by the Shinkansen as well, which is kind of JR as well. So that all converges on Kyoto Station. If you're coming by some of the other routes like Hankyu, Kintetsu or Keihan, then you'll need to make it to Kyoto Station somehow. Probably just joining the subway, I guess is the easiest way, the Kyoto subway. And then from there it's about a 5-10 minute walk. Don't do what I did and go out the main exit, the central gate with Kyoto Tower in front of you. That's the wrong way. Don't go out that way. Go out the back exit. I guess that's the south exit. Otherwise you're going to be on the wrong side, and it's a bit of a pain to get around Kyoto Station because there's a lot of train lines, so there's not just like an easy tunnel underneath. So it took me a little bit of course adjusting to find my way to the south side. So yeah, make it easy on yourself and go out of the south gate. Don't go out of the central gate with Kyoto Tower. Now, as for tickets, this cost I think it was 4,000. Was it 4,000 yen? 4,400 yen, I think it was. Which I think was, actually thinking about it, I think that's the same price as the one in Tokyo. But you do get a lot of content. I stayed in there for about 3 hours. And even then I probably could have spent a bit more time if I was at a leisurely pace. My advice is to book online. They do have a fairly limited amount of on-the-day tickets. I left the building around 12:30 and they'd already sold out for the day. So don't leave it to chance. Probably try to book an earlier slot as well, because there's no exit time, so you can just hang around as long as you like. But as you might imagine, as you get in early in the morning, there's not going to be that many people there, and the people who are hanging around are going to get joined by all the other people, so it's going to get progressively more crowded during the day. So I recommend getting one of those early slots. Book way in advance if you can, and yeah, that's my advice. So south exit, book early. Don't chance it with the on-the-day tickets because you might get disappointed. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to share, so definitely check those out. Check out my other videos too. Just search TeamLabs on my channel. You can find the digest video. There's also the one in Tokyo, which was part of my big trip in Tokyo video. Same with Fukuoka as well, and then the Osaka Botanical Gardens, very nice. Please check that out. I've actually done a whole walking video. You can walk your way through all of that. Not many people watched it though, sadly, so please check that out, help me out. Okay, there we go. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment or a question, share this channel to anybody else who wants to come to Japan, especially Kyoto. And you can leave me a super like if you like, and help me keep the lights on. That would help me a lot. But anyway, thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed this video, and see you again. Bye bye.